Picture this. It's a foggy night in 1929, and Al Capone, yes, the notorious Chicago gangster, is pacing his lavish cell in a massive, crumbling prison just outside Philadelphia. But even with silk sheets and a radio, he swears he's not alone. Shadowy figures lurk in the corners, whispers echo through the stone walls, and something cold brushes against his skin. Capone begs the guards for protection, claiming the ghost of a man he killed is haunting him. Was it paranoia from isolation? Or something far more sinister, trapped in those ancient halls? This is the chilling world of Eastern State Penitentiary, a place where solitude was meant to heal the soul, but instead, it shattered minds and invited the dead to linger. Hey everyone, welcome back to Unexplained Encounters, where we step into the shadows of history's most baffling and bone-chilling mysteries. Today, we're unlocking the gates of Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a fortress of regret that stood since 1829, once hailed as the world's most innovative prison, but now infamous as one of America's most haunted spots. We'll wander through its revolutionary design, meet the tormented souls who lived and died within its walls, and confront the paranormal activity that still sends shivers down the spines of visitors today. Stick with me, because as we delve deeper into these echoing corridors, you might just feel a chill that has nothing to do with the weather. Let's rewind to the early 1800s, when Philadelphia was buzzing with new ideas about crime and punishment. The Quakers, those peaceful folks who founded Pennsylvania, believed in redemption over revenge. They hated the old jails, filthy, overcrowded pits where prisoners mingled, spreading vice like a plague. So, in 1787, a group called the Philadelphia Society for Alleviating the Miseries of Public Prisons dreamed up something radical: solitary confinement. Not as torture, mind you, but as a path to penitence, hence penitentiary. Alone with their thoughts, prisoners would reflect, read the Bible, and reform. It sounded humane, almost enlightened. But oh, how wrong they were. Construction kicked off in 1822 on a massive plot in what was then rural Fairmount, just outside the city. Charles Williams, a British architect, designed it like a wagon wheel, a central hub for guards to watch over 7 radiating cell blocks, each with 2 tiers of cells. This radial plan was revolutionary. No more blind spots, total surveillance. The walls soared 30 feet high, topped with battlements like a medieval castle. Inside, each cell was a vault, 8 by 12 feet, with thick stone walls, a tiny skylight called the Eye of God, and a heavy iron door with a feeding slot. No windows to the outside world. Prisoners entered hooded, so they'd never see another inmate. They exercised alone in tiny yards attached to their cells. Silence was law. Guards wore felt-soled shoes to muffle steps. The idea? Break the spirit to rebuild it. But isolation, it creeps in, doesn't it? Whispers in the dark, hallucinations born from endless nothing. By the time it opened in 1829, Eastern State cost a whopping $750,000, more than the U.S. Capitol at the time. It was meant to inspire awe and fear. The first inmate? Charles Williams, no relation to the architect, a black farmer convicted of theft. He arrived October 25, 1829, hooded, and led to cell 1. "May God preserve thee," the warden said. But preservation? Hardly. In those early years, the Pennsylvania system drew global attention. Charles Dickens visited in 1842 and was horrified. The system is rigid, strict, and hopeless solitary confinement. I hold this slow and daily tampering with the mysteries of the brain to be immeasurably worse than any torture of the body. He wasn't wrong. Prisoners went mad, staring at walls, talking to shadows. One man reportedly screamed until his voice gave out. Another fashioned a noose from his bedsheets. Guards enforced rules brutally. The iron gag for talkers, a metal bit tied so tight it cut the tongue. The mad chair, where inmates were strapped motionless for days. Cold water baths that froze skin. Yet the prison expanded, adding cell blocks through the 1870s, housing up to 1,700 by the 1920s, far beyond its 250-cell design. Solitude cracked under overcrowding, but the damage was done. The walls absorbed the agony, and some say the souls never left. As decades rolled on, Eastern State became a revolving door for the infamous. Take Pep the dog, yes, a Labrador, sentenced in 1924 by Governor Gifford Pinchot for allegedly killing his wife's cat. Pep's mugshot went viral, but it was a publicity stunt. More seriously, bank robber Willie Sutton tunneled out in 1945 with 11 others through a 97-foot passage, only to be recaptured hours later. "Why do you rob banks?" a reporter asked. "Because that's where the money is," Sutton quipped. But the star inmate? Al Capone, locked up in 1929 for a weapons charge, his first prison stint. Cell 1 in Block 8 was tricked out. Oriental rugs, fine furniture, even a Victrola for jazz records. Guards turned a blind eye, but Capone wasn't at ease. He confided in them about Jimmy, the ghost of James Clark, a victim from the St. Valentine's Day massacre. "Leave me alone," he'd yell at empty air. Was it guilt gnawing at his mind, amplified by the prison's isolation, or a real specter? Capone left in 1930, but his cell remains a hotspot for eerie encounters. Other tales drip with dread. In the 1930s, as the solitary system faded, gangs formed. Riots erupted in 1933 and 34 with fires and chaos. Inmates like Scarface Joe, a mobster, or the countless forgotten souls serving life for minor crimes under harsh laws. Death row was added in 1913, though no executions happened there. Hangings were at other sites until the electric chair came in. But deaths? Plenty. Murders, suicides, disease. Tuberculosis raged in the damp cells. One guard, patrolling the catwalks, felt hands push him over the rail, but no one was there. He survived the fall, but quit, whispering of vengeful spirits. By the 1950s, the prison was a relic, overcrowded, decaying. Inmates shared cells, violence simmered. A 1961 riot saw prisoners take hostages, demanding better conditions. The writing was on the wall, or etched into it, with graffiti of despair. Finally, in 1971, Eastern State closed its gates. Too costly, too archaic. Inmates transferred to newer facilities like Graterford. The massive structure sat abandoned for decades, weeds choking the yards, roofs caving in, paint peeling like old skin. Urban explorers snuck in, reporting footsteps behind them, laughter from empty blocks. In 1988, preservationists stepped up, turning it into a historic site. By 1994, daytime tours began, but it was the Terror Behind the Walls Halloween haunt that exploded its fame. One of America's top haunted attractions, where actors amplified the real chills. But even without the theatrics, the paranormal persists. Visitors feel tugs on clothing, hear wails in the infirmary. One tour guide, alone in cell block 12, saw a dark figure dart across the corridor, clear as day, then gone. Equipment malfunctions. Cold spots drop temperatures 20 degrees. Is it the architecture playing tricks? Wind through cracks? Or the accumulated suffering echoing forever? Paranormal teams have flocked here. Ghost hunters, ghost adventures, you name it. In 2008, TAPS caught EVPs, disembodied voices saying, "Help me," or names of long-dead inmates. Zach Bagans felt oppressed in death row, capturing shadows on camera. Skeptics blame suggestion, the power of expectation in a creepy setting, but employees swear otherwise. One curator, restoring artifacts, heard tools clanging in an empty workshop. Another saw a translucent guard in 1800s uniform, patrolling as if on eternal duty. Theories abound. Residual hauntings, energy imprints from trauma, intelligent spirits, inmates seeking redemption, or portals, given the site's Native American history, Lenape lands perhaps disturbed. Whatever it is, Eastern State isn't just ruins. It's alive with the unseen. Fast forward to today, and Eastern State is a thriving museum. Over 200,000 visitors a year, pondering prison reform through audio tours narrated by Steve Buscemi. Exhibits tackle mass incarceration, solitary's modern horrors still used in U.S. prisons despite studies showing it causes psychosis. But the ghosts? They steal the show. Night tours, especially around Halloween, ramp up the fear. Flashlights only, groups huddling as guides share stories. One visitor in 2015 felt breath on her neck in Capone's cell. Her photo showed an orb. Another group heard cell doors slam sequentially down a block. No one there. EMF meters spike. Thermal cams catch anomalies. Human-shaped heat signatures in freezing rooms. In 2020, during COVID closures, security cams picked up movement in locked areas, figures pacing cells. Coincidence? Or unrest stirred by silence, mirroring the old solitary days? Investigators dig deeper. In 2019, a team from Paranormal Lockdown spent 72 hours inside, isolated like inmates. They captured footsteps, knocks responding to questions. "Who are you?" one asked. EVP replied, "Murderer." Chilling. Theories evolve. Some link hauntings to the prison's separate system, isolation fracturing psyches, leaving psychic scars. Others point to artifacts, a death mask collection, eerie plaster casts of inmates' faces, or the catacombs beneath, rumored tunnels for bodies, though unconfirmed. Skeptics counter with science. Infrasound from traffic causing unease, mold inducing hallucinations, even pigeons flapping, mimicking whispers. But tell that to the staff. One longtime guide quit after a hand grabbed his ankle in the barber shop, icy, invisible. "It felt real," he said. Too real. What draws us to Eastern State? It's a mirror to humanity's dark side, how good intentions pave hell's road. Built for reform, it bred madness. Now, preserved, it warns against isolation's toll. But the spirits? They remind us death isn't always the end. Imagine wandering those halls alone, a distant cry, a shadow shifting just out of sight. Is it history replaying, or souls begging to be heard? We may never know, but one thing's certain. Eastern states' walls hold secrets that time can't erase. If this trek through haunted history left you glancing over your shoulder, wait for our next deep dive. The enigmatic Brown Mountain Lights in North Carolina. Glowing orbs dancing in the night, defying explanation for centuries. Are they ghosts, UFOs, or something earthly? Hit play on that video soon for more spine-tingling mysteries. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell for Unexplained Encounters' latest chills. Thanks for joining me. Stay watchful out there.